Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Rama is the one who revels in everyone's hearts. Everyone quiet in their minds and feel that presence. Navaratri is preparing for the presence of Sri Rama. Prepare yourself. Shanti. Chapter 2, verse 7 is a pivotal verse in Bhagavad Gita. It is the final preparation before Sri Krishna starts to teach. In the first line, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha, Prince Arjuna shares, my nature is overwhelmed by the defect, the weakness, the failure that comes with being small-minded, small-hearted. Karpanya comes from kripanaha, which means to be a miser. A technical definition of miserliness is one who doesn't know how to enjoy and doesn't allow others to enjoy either. In other words, your family members. Changing the vocabulary to one who doesn't know how to live and doesn't allow others to live either. This is what Prince Arjuna is feeling. He understands and appreciates this. In other words, he's admitting it. That's what's pivotal. He's admitting it. So, Prichami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Because my mind is completely confused about dharma, I am asking you. Who that is will come soon. A responsibility crisis, the genesis of this, the source of this, is an identity crisis. The responsibility crisis, he's using the word dharma, is the expression of Prince Arjuna not knowing who he is. For those who work in corporations, if you don't have a job title, there's a good chance you don't have a job description. It is your title that facilitates your description. So Prince Arjuna is struggling with an identity crisis. I'm going to remind you about that many times in chapter 2. Now the next line. Yacheyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam yat shreyaha syat. What is Prince Arjuna asking Sri Krishna? What is Shreyaha? Tell me that which is best for me in all ways. The reason Prince Arjuna is asking this, he already has what is technically known as abhyudaya. Abhyudaya in English is prosperity. He has the 3 lower P's, which is pleasure. By show of hands, how many of you have pleasure in your lives? Next is possessions, position. He has that already. He's not asking for that because he already has that. And the challenge with abhyudaya or prosperity is that it is changing. Pleasure changes. You may have grown up on having a sweet tooth, but then it turns into having a salty tongue. Correct? Pleasure changes. And we know possessions do and positions do. It is this change that is causing him to be confused, causing him to be afraid, causing him to be sad. That's what change does. So he doesn't want prosperity. He doesn't need prosperity. What he needs is nishreyaha. And that comes in the second portion of this quarter. Nishchitam bruhitan me. Tell me. Direct me to that which is nishchitam. Nishchitam means that which is definite, a definite. And the point being is, nishreyaha means peace, and peace is unchanging. He already has that which is fickle. He wants that which is unchanging. And we can all relate to this. Nobody wants that which is good in their life to change. Do you want your health? If you have good health, do you want that to change? Good sleep, good relationships. Nobody wants that which is good to change. Prince Arjuna wants a happiness that is unchanging. Abhyudaya is subjective. Yours and mine may be different. Nishreyasa is universal. All want peace, all need peace, whether they define it like this or not. And taking this one level more deeply, this is indicative of the word Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma as a noun means infinite nature. Infinite nature. Sanatana Dharma as a verb means unchanging responsibility. Prince Arjuna's, everyone's unchanging responsibility is to feel their infinite nature. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what language you know. This is universal. We want that which is unchanging. Only the infinite doesn't change. The last quarter. Te. Te means you. Who is the you he's referring to? Sri Krishna. You are the one who has all, and because you have all, you can share all. That is the most logical observation. Technically, Sri Krishna is Prince Arjuna's charioteer, as if someone who's lower than him. But in Prince Arjuna's admittance, he comes to understand and appreciate that Sri Krishna has everything. And only one who has everything can share everything, can make one feel that they are everything. Doesn't this apply in a material sense? If a country has food and another one doesn't, only the one with food can share with the one who doesn't have food. So yes, materially this applies. Immaterially, it's even more so. Only a happy person can help another person be happy. Only a stable person can help another person be stable. With this word, Prince Arjuna's whole orientation is shifting away from him and is now shifting to Sri Krishna. It's almost like he's passing on the conch. It's your turn to speak now. And as he's doing this, he says, Shishyaha aham. I am your disciple. Shadimam tvam prapannam. Direct me. Teach me. To you, I am a disciple. What Swami Tejramananda shared with us in this verse. He said, nobody wants advice. By show of hands, how many of you resonate with that? Nobody wants advice. And even when we want advice, nobody follows advice. Yes? Now everyone's smiling and giggling. You shouldn't be happy about that. You should be sad about that. We don't want advice, and even when we are given advice, we don't follow advice. Other than a disciple. A disciple is one who is ready and follows discipline. Disciple, discipline, those are synonymous, which means they want advice. They want this upadesha, and they will follow it. This is what separates, in a worldly way, a bhakta from a shishya, a devotee from a disciple. If you think of the masters in the world, many masters had hundreds, thousands, millions of devotees. But did they have that many disciples? Certainly not. There's a great way of almost like vetting. A devotee wants advice but doesn't follow it. A disciple wants advice and follows advice. Lots to reflect on. From inspiration to application. A recent application, I'm bringing this up again. What is the need of the age and what are you doing? A seeker shared, the need of the age is purpose. She's observing that people don't have daily purpose, leave alone life purpose. Prince Arjuna is the same. Another seeker shared belonging. Just now I was listening to the Canadian news, the CBC, about how kids are going through social malnutrition. There's a physical malnutrition which we all know about, those living in Canada and America. We may not have experienced this, but social malnutrition, that sense of belonging, is not being addressed, is not being facilitated. And how this is causing anxiety, depression, suicide. Another application of yours was, what do you do in an unnecessarily complex way? I'm going to read an observation for you from a seeker in Atlanta. Her name is Bhavana. I find planning and prioritizing things that I'm doing for myself to be difficult. It is easier to prioritize things I have to do for others. What an efficient way to live. Whatever you do for yourself, do it for others, and you'll become more efficient. You'll become simpler. Another seeker from Atlanta, Darshan. Inherently, I know that all is simple. It's not that I do not know that. I know that this happens due to doership, and enjoyership attitude. In other words, Darshan admitted to being Duryodhana. He knows what to do, but he can't follow what to do because of deservership, doership. The recent applications were to memorize this verse. How many of you have done that by show of hands? And once you memorize this, to keep revolving around this, there's a lot of content. We can go the whole week into this verse. Here's your application for today. I want you to think of the master that you are closest to. You can relate to the most, you resonate with them. And I want you to rate yourself as a disciple using them as a reference. Using them as a reference. 1 is awful, 100 is awesome. Just to give you a small example. My favorite sport is football or soccer. Compared to Messi, I am minus 100. Compared to my high school friends, I may be a 75. You get it? You come up with the reference of a master that is closest to you. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.